So you had a little bit more to say.
I did. I had at least one or two more things to say. First of all, I did a what you would call slop stream earlier this last week, right before Street Fighter 6. I figured, hey, you know what? There's a lot of people trying to get into fighting games. There's a lot of people that are starting with Street Fighter 6. Maybe they don't know stupid shit, right? So we just watched a bunch of Core A Gaming videos. I want to shout out Core A Gaming again with Gerald Lee. Incredible work. Like like I had Paige was watching some of those, and she's like, "Oh, I understand what a frame is now." For some reason, the way he actually explains it makes it like perfectly understandable to like normal humans, not just fighting game weirdo freaks like us.
Yeah, it's because Gerald writes in modern controls.
Yeah, it's true.
It's easy to understand.
We also took a look at, and this is one of someone recommended this video to me. It is one of my favorite videos I've ever seen about fighting games, especially after last week's diatribe about how I think NetherRealm Games makes pieces of shit.
God damn it, I was muted.
We watched Sajam going through, quote, Injustice 1 was a real video game that people played competitively for money, in which he just goes for 15 minutes about like what an absolute piece of Injustice 1 is,
dude.
Like, and describing like Batman corner dumpster combos,
Superman Cyborg
dumpster combo,
like Superman I-beams and Cyborg zoning.
Okay, so Susie, here's the phrase dumpster combos, and thinks I'm saying like they're trashy or they're like garbage.
Yeah.
No, I mean on the stage that has a dumpster.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of characters have dumpster infinites in which they can throw the dumpster at people in the corner, and then when they try and get out, you can throw an air projectile and it knocks them back into the corner, and you throw the unblockable dumpster at them again, and you can just lock
it's unblockable?
Yeah, it sure is.
Interactables. There's an interactables button that grabs things from the background or so and throws them.
Yeah.
Or in so.
I played both Injustices, but I did not play them for very long for obvious reasons.
Pig advantage, of course.
Yeah, he goes into pig advantage. Yeah, and just like astonishing, like just the fucking unbelievable, and like showing off just a plethora of infinites or inescapable loops, and just like watching that right before hopping into Street Fighter 6 was a really good decision, because boy, you can feel the difference. You can feel the difference between a game in which you have to worry about pig or dumpster advantage and a game in which you're like, man, I wonder if Honda has good buttons. Yeah, Honda has good buttons.
Honda's going to use the dumpster, so be careful.
Terrible.
Isn't everyone in Injustice like a zoner with like 7 different projectiles?
No, they're not. In fact,
just the ones that you will see in videos, because those are the people that they use.
I played the grappler in that game. I played Solomon Grundy, who was not a zoner. But because it's Injustice, like the crazy shit that Solomon Grundy could do was certainly comparable to a lot of the broken shit in that game. Corpse walk, cancel into corpse walk. But it was, unfortunately, there was nothing anyone could do against the way in NetherRealm zoning does its setup. And it didn't get a whole lot better over time.
NetherRealm zoning exists in a world in which you design the zoner and not one person asks even once, well, what are you supposed to do to get in on this? Doesn't even come up a single time.
Well, eventually the person doing it will get bored and stop doing it, right?
No. No, actually. No. So the reason why I bring this up, specifically Core A Gaming, is I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter 6, and to date, I guess I could call myself unretired, as despite the fact that it's a new FF14 patch, I forgot that it was a new FF14 patch and didn't do any of my weekly or daily shit. Just didn't do it, because I'd rather play Street Fighter 6.
When's the last time that happened?
Wow.
Never.
God. damn.
Yeesh.
Holy
Never.
shit.
That's how powerful SF6 is. Holy
Let's go, Capcom. Let's go. Let's go.
Also, like,
get in.
I've been watching and rewatching like a good deal of Core gaming videos, in particular, the ones in which he explains like frame advantage. And despite barely playing fighting games for the past couple of years, like pretty much since 4, like the last time I was really into something, I played 4. I am a lot better than I used to be. Like, and it's none of it's knowledge, and none of it's knowledge, none of it's execution. It's like mentality. Like, Woolie, you've played probably 100 million matches against me over the years. I am finally using Geef's like low short because it's fast. And I'm sick of getting blown up in the corner because it's fast.
Correct.
Something that, like, as far back I can remember as playing Third Strike, where I'm like, it's so annoying. The Ken will dash in and do like short jab low. That's so annoying and lame. Just do it. Just do the good one.
The moment of revolution, it was a small one, but like from you going, but I don't want to watch replays. For what? I just want to play.
Yeah.
To being like, oh, I went back and I actually started looking at stuff. And it was like, that's indicating a desire to correct a mistake. But if the only thing you're doing is like, I just want to actively play and I don't really care about the result.
Until I can no longer bunga.
Exactly. And then as soon as that's done, I just want to do it some more and the outcome doesn't matter as much, then that's fine. It's still super fun to keep hitting rematch. But don't expect the outcomes to change if you don't change what you're doing. If your approach remains the same, you'll continue to output the same, result. The desire to see that change is the first thing. Yeah.
There's also a different mindset change in which I placed high in platinum with Geef on my placement, and I have relatively steadily been teaching the game that placing me in 4-star platinum was a mistake. As people in 4-star platinum push me down to 3, and probably by the end of tonight push me down into 2. And instead of getting all pissy and shitty about my number go down, I'm just like thinking like, it'll be nice once I get to people that are more my level. Somewhere around probably plat 2 or plat 1. And then if I climb back up, it will be less gimmicky. Like I'm at the point where I have to play honest, and I realize that playing honest sucks.
Interesting.
And I don't want to play honest. I want to play like a fucking degenerate. I don't want to play fair.
Nah. If I know what you know, then I don't care about your dishonest shit. What else you got? You know? It's a really there's a point you hit at where you're like, and it's only online too, right? Like it's the way you have like there's a mentality you go into in a bracket where in early pools you don't know what the fuck is going to happen on round 1. It's literally everybody and anybody. The later you are in a bracket, you know how you can expect somebody might play. But that level of like, okay, I'm not going to give you an ounce of respect until you show me otherwise. Do I have to treat you like you understand what you're doing? No, then okay, I don't care, right? But you have these little moments where you go, oh fuck, okay, no, every time I jumped, he checked it. Every time I went in, they checked it. They stopped what I was doing. They waited for me to do something. They're like, okay, stop. Right? That round 1 was bad, and that shows that they have control and that they know what they're doing, and it's not mindless. You need to make an adjustment, you know? And people who don't have that little moment between round 1 and round 2, that little pause of like, oh, I need to change what I'm doing, will find the same thing happens and they steamroll into a loss and go, God damn it, what happened? You know?
So I had the mental switch between the mindsets a couple nights ago on stream, in which my brain went, I didn't say this out loud because it's extra shitbag grappler nonsense, but my brain went from, he's got to drop this punish combo eventually. He's got to make a mistake, and then I'm gonna grab him when he drops the combo. Because everybody always drops the combo eventually.
Just spin and mash.
I'll just keep spinning and mashing
Yeah.
And he's gonna drop one of these jabs, dude. He's gonna drop one of these jabs, and then I got him.
And did he drop it?
And at some point, like I stream for really long periods. At some point, on like hour 7.5, I'm like, I don't think these DJ or JP or Chun-Li players are gonna drop these fucking combos.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
I don't think they're gonna just drop these fucking jab into special combos that are gonna happen.
But did
I'm
he
gonna
drop
have
it
to start
though?
planning about them not dropping them.
Dude, let me explain something to you right now. Right now, because that is the best. Okay. The second I see you do that on my drop, or when someone is like someone at a level that's playing for real sees that, don't fuck me. The next time they start doing strings on you, they start dropping on purpose, and then you burn your stupid fucking 3 bars on nothing while they're in the air watching you whiff.
Well,
okay?
luckily,
literally happened to me yesterday, by the way. Like, nightmare shit.
You give them that information, and then they fucking exploit it because they know, oh, while this guy's getting hit, he's doing an autopilot of just grab if he fucks up. Just grab if he fucks up. So you can exploit that shit.
I also got into a situation that helped this mindset of I said I played like a 50 game set against DJ. Guy from Honduras, apparently. Great matches, excellent connection. And DJ's fake up kick leads to a really nasty cross up. And I got to go over this long series of sets in which he would just do it and do it and do it and do it and do it. And I'm like, I guess I have to just figure out what the button is here, or the backdash, or the jump back, or whatever. And then I didn't figure it out. Someone had to tell me what it was.
To
and
escape.
the answer is jump back and jab.
So what you're talking about, is a nerfed version of what it used to be. So before DJ, because DJ has a button which is down and kick in the air, and it does the knee, right?
Yeah.
So what he could do back in Super Street Fighter 4 is he could jump at you from the same place, and usually the way that you can tell if something's going to cross you up or not is based on where they are in the air and where they jump from. If you've seen the setup before, and then like you go, oh, I know he's going to land behind me. I've seen the setup. I can tell the distance. I can judge it. He had a thing where he could jump from the exact same place, and whether he chose to do that knee or a different button, it would land in front or behind you, which meant that until the button itself happened, you did not know which side it was going to be on, making it a completely unstoppable 50-50 on every one of those jumps. That was the identical spacing. He could then combo into a sweep, because he has 2 sweeps, right? Crouching medium knocks you down as well as a slide with heavy. And then he could position himself to do it to you again. So DJ's strength was jumping and doing a 50-50, knocking you down, and then doing it again. And it was super strong, but the most boring shit in the world.
Yeah.
So the fact that they spruced him up and made him this wild kind of, just cool, crazy combo guy is a huge step up, because he can do all these cool things and it's not the most boring shit ever. But also, now he has to do it off of that canceled up kick, right? Which is a little more telegraphed than the same jump arc every time. So you're getting the improved version of that situation.
It took somebody in the chat to be like, hey, dumb shit, do this, for me to fix it, but it happened. I guess I would have eventually figured it out. But yeah, no, for like genuinely, I have to give a shout out to, again, Gerald Corey Gaming, because despite the fact that I've been playing fighting games since I was like 8 years old, it was only by like really thinking about the way his content was presented in those videos that actually helped me change the way I perceived the way I was playing, that led to good change.
That's awesome. That's really cool, because it's very possible that there's people who will hit that point but not find it fun to make the change. So you don't really necessarily embrace that possibility, you know?
Well, no, a part of me is gonna like grab Ken and go fucking just bullshit it the fuck up on bronze. Which, thank God, character specific fucking
ranks
are back. Oh my God.
I'm curious. So, by feeling that overplacement, then do you see, like, like the ratio that you had in the placement matches, and then the ratio that you had afterwards, like how was that?
I won 8 out of 10 of my placement matches after selecting intermediate, which put me into high plat, put me at plat 4.
Okay.
And now my matches are, I lose 60, 70% of them.
Okay. Okay.
And I was losing 80% when I was in plat 4. Now that I'm in plat 3, I'm losing about 60, 70%. And ideally in plat 2, I would be losing 50%. And then I'll stay there for a while until I either become much worse or improve somehow.
Okay. Because things shake out very differently in the opening hours of a new fighting game on the rank, you know? Like, you'll see the gulf between the different placements grow and such. But, you know, generally, plat 4 into diamond means you're playing pretty flawless round-to-round play. What's going to make you win is having better mind games, having better setups, and having better unexpected like tech. But the moment-to-moment touches are full optimized, you know?
Yeah, it was very interesting because like I played gold players and silver players in my placement and also at the battle cabs. And what's fascinating about the way the ranking system works, first of all, hey, this is kind of counterintuitive, but if you're brand new to fighting games and you're like scared of Street Fighter 6, play ranked because it will probably put you in with other trash newbies like you. Whereas if you go sit at random cabs in the battle hub, those people are probably killers. They're probably going to get you. Like rank yourself into the garbage people on novice.
Well, you can also check the, like, before you sit down, like, you can check whoever's there, and it'll tell you what their rank is and stuff, and it'll say, like, similar skill level to you. Or if they're, like, slightly higher, it'll say similar skill level, flexible.
Yeah, so in my experience, the people in the rooms are usually kind of more rando and lower in skill. Ranked will get you a challenge pretty much, you know, most of the time. You'll see some people that are like, you got here, but you're making more mistakes than someone in this rank usually makes or so.
Yeah.
But like, the fact that it asks you off the bat to go, hey, just being honest, where do you think you're at, is huge, right?
Yeah.
DNF Duel did that, and it's a wonderful thing to just be like, yeah, man, if you're a beginner, start in beginner. If you think you're like, no, I know what I'm kind of doing. I think I'm better than I am, but maybe I'm not. It'll be like, all right, we'll judge you accordingly, you know? But that opening question is a really great system, and like, don't try to, you know, be honest about it, really, because it'll affect how much of a good or bad time you have.
Yeah.
You know.
What was fascinating to me going through these and playing all these matches was the different ranks have like different like overall mentalities, and I feel like the middle of platinum and below, it felt like I could get away with me and my opponent going, I'm gonna do my bullshit, and then you're gonna do your bullshit, and we'll just see how that works out. I don't know how to deal with your crap if you get your crap going, and you don't know how to deal with my crap if I get my crap going. So we'll just see who starts their game plan faster. But when I was in high platinum, like, they knew exactly what the fuck I was trying to do, and I didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yep.
So that was pretty one-sided.
Yep. It's like, I know what I do well. Did you look into what I do well? No? Well, I'm winning this one because I did the homework on you, you know? And you're at that point, especially, well, Master and such, to Diamond and so on, where you're just like, okay, this is where you would be out of pools in a bracket. You'd be going into semifinals, or you'd be going into, you know, the like, basically, exiting that initial point of, we've done the knowledge check, and everyone here has looked into and knows the matchup for every other character. If I see you, I know what you're trying to do to me. If I'm just thinking only about what I'm trying to do and getting my game plan off with zero respect to the person I'm fighting, there's a hard wall you cannot go past.
And I don't know if it's tier or mentality, but it's been fascinating to see as I go from 4 to 3 to probably 2, how JP's just disappeared and how Zangief's just showed up en masse as soon as I got to Plat 3.
Interesting. I mean, that is also a result of the knowledge check, which is basically characters which break the rules of Street Fighter to do their own thing.
Boy, does JP break the fucking rules of Street Fighter.
Right? And this is in every genre, in every fighting game, there's a character or 2 or 3, sometimes many, where there's like, yeah, if you don't know how to fight, I don't know, Axel on Axel's terms, it's not the same as fighting other characters in that game, you know?
Yeah.
And so this is what you get from Geef, or if you try to treat Geef like everybody else, you're gonna fucking feel it.
Yeah.
Something and this like exact thing of like, oh shit, okay, I'm gonna lose to every Geef until I can treat him the way he forces me to play against him and not like everybody else. This is why I'm so obsessed with the lab. This is why I spend so much time in the lab, is because the thing where I'm like, I know all my combos and I feel good about what I want to do, but I don't know what I'm fighting against, and I can't just hope improvising will win over the long term, means I have to go spend that time in practice, you know? And it's not what somebody who's just like, I just want to press buttons and have fun wants to hear, but as someone who's like, I do want to correct my mistakes, it's like you have to go look into it, you know? You can't expect the outcomes to change otherwise. It's fucking fascinating, though, you breaking it down this way, because you've been on these games for fucking forever, like I have.
Yeah, but I've never had the right. Well, no, not the right. It's a different mindset. I'm not going to say the people who just want to log on and press buttons are wrong, because a lot of people just want to log on and press buttons.
But then you're gonna discover the new challenge, which is, and this is what you hear every time I'm playing, and you hear me talking to myself, talking shit and going like, God damn it, fuck, what the idiot. All that shit that I do is because I'm like, you labbed this, you know the answer, now you're having a hard time putting it into practice. It's not, I didn't know what that was and I didn't see it coming. When you see me laugh and go, oh, what? Yo, he can do that? Oh yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, right. That's me being like, absolutely. I'm at the mercy of the shit I didn't know. The times I get down on myself and you hear that shit, it's like, you knew that. You practiced it. You just couldn't apply it yet. Because the third step is, now you've practiced it, now you know what's coming. How do I implement it in live matches? And that takes another fucking leap in skill that you're gonna find, you know?
So far, the only thing that makes me really sad, is Geef mirror matches in which they do my dishonest bullshit to me, and I fall for it, and I'm like, I should really know better. I have done that stupid medium knee into air SPD or SPD like a million goddamn times. How come I fell for this? Ooh.
You know what really annoys me because I play Menno and I do like a little jump in and then like pull them to me and then grapple. Yeah. And I do that like maybe 2 times in a row without thinking.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they've never done that, and then they start doing that to me, and I'm like,
"Oh no, I taught them!
You taught them!
Oh, no.
You taught them!
Yeah, I literally just taught them how to do my bullshit.
That's so rough. I know that. I've seen that too, and that feels so bad. You're like, oh,
yeah,
fuck. Yes. So I mean, God, sorry. I love this shit. I love this shit so much. Like, so. When we were doing our session, right, we were playing, so I've said this before, but like, Reggie is a fucking beast. He's insanely good and insanely strong, and he plays fucking optimally, and like, he goes home and he knows how to lab shit in the smart way and comes back and puts it into practice, right? And I would like bash my head against things and like not figure out for at least like 10 games what is happening. And a lot of it is pattern recognition because he knows how I play a bunch and I know how he plays. So like there's a little bit of like, I'm fighting against Woolie right now, but then he'll switch back to like, no, I'll fight your character. And you'll see that like he's just right. So there's a moment that I had in the stream where I was like, okay, let me show you guys what happens IRL, you know, if we're at a local or something and and whatever. And it's like we went to break, came back, and it's like, let's talk about that set, you know? And those little moments of like, stop, digest it for a second, process why I just got cleaned the fuck up, right? Rinsed. I think it was like 7 to like 20 at a, you know, initially or something, and I was like, okay, what am I losing to here, right? I don't have time to go back and rewatch these matches right now, but mentally,
that's a lot of matches to rewatch.
That's a lot of matches, right? But mentally, what am I losing to? And then I'm like, okay, I'm losing with whiff punishes and footsies. Every time I land my combo, I'm dropping some because I'm not used to it yet, but I'm otherwise getting damage from it, and he's getting his damage consistently on me. But when I walk up to him, he waits for me to try to clip him with a button because I think he's in range, and he just walks a little bit further back from that and punishes me for it, right?
Yeah, I'm trash at whiff punishes, man. I am bad at that shit.
It's humongous for you. Like, you must master that. And the old Street Fighter games had something called proximity blocking, which is if I'm right next to you but not within range of touching you and I throw out a button, you start blocking while you're standing in front of me automatically, right? So you'll block the air for a couple of feet, a couple of steps in front of me, and then when you start backing out of a certain range, you can just move freely again. But I can I watch you blocking the air, and I can stop you from moving, and that's a big part of what Street Fighter feels like. The reason why Street Fighter feels slower and more deliberate and like footsies is grounded is a big part of that is this thing I'm describing, proximity blocking. You can make someone stop moving by doing an action, and they're going to have to do this, and just like, and then you slow it down. Street Fighter 6 has gotten rid of that, which means if I don't touch you with what I'm pressing, you just continue walking back forever. And because of that, something that comes low is that reaches out pretty far. It's much easier for him to dance just out of the range where I thought he would get hit a second ago, but now he's not there anymore. And because he's reacting better than I am, he's doing his best button, getting a punish counter, doing 30% of my life, you know? That little system, that little exchange, that little moment right there, every win is made up of 3 or 4 of those small things. And I recognized this is what I need to improve in the set. And then we came back from talking about it, me recognizing that and going like, all right, I'm paying way more attention to this part of the game now. I started doing a bit better. I mean, not by much because he's still fucking great, but I started winning a little bit more in those neutral exchanges. But the sacrifice is I can't pay attention to his jump-ins as well anymore because I'm too fucking focused on this grounded footsie shit right in front of me, and I have to take my processor and decrease the anti-air.exe amount, you know, to focus on more on footsies.exe. And this is, you know, and you're like, oh, God damn it, okay, and everything in this game requires you to, like, which one do I have to run against you? Okay, I'm going to shut down my ability to react to drive impacts for the next 30 seconds because I'm too focused on the other shit that I need to right now, you know? It's all that game of, like, deprioritizing one thing you're thinking of and putting another one up there because you just lost to that a bunch in a row. I hope I'm not just rambling on, and I hope this makes sense.
No, I get it. I've been going through that myself.
The mental stack is what it's called.
You know, I'm dealing with people who, and like, you know, since I'm a little more trash, or maybe I'm not, I don't know, but like, I'll get into the situation of like, oh yeah, drive impact. I can drive impact this guy. I can drive impact this guy in reaction, until he starts doing some bullshit that requires me to pay attention to something other than his jump-ins or his long-reach normals, and now I can't drive impact him on reaction anymore because I'm thinking about his tick throw bullshit, and now he throws a drive impact out and it hits me because I'm thinking about tick throws.
Yeah.
Yep. This game knows that you can only put so much attention to so many things at once, and it's designed to have too many things to juggle, you know? And when you have level 3, I have to now add the fact that your fucking level 3 can come out at any second into the equation as well, and be a little bit more scared of that. So now, right as soon as you get that, I'm like, okay, there's like 18 fucking things to be worried about right now. If you could see all the different task manager bars in my brain, they're doing this. You know, right in that level 3 moment. And then it's like, oh, okay, he jumped. You know? And that is like, that's such a great thing, because a game that is not as good as this will not have that variety. It'll be solved. You'll be like, I need to only think about this, this, and that.
Yeah, I'm playing Lex Luthor, so all I gotta do is push them in the corner and just zone all day.
And it's preset, and you just gotta autopilot it, you know? And then that stops being fun. That stops being engaging. But everything in this game, the way there's a uniqueness to everyone's, like, there's a unique thing across the design where a lot of characters will have either press a button into a Hadoken or a special move where there's a hole in between the button and the special that you can interrupt me, or it'll be at the end, right? And so they can use different strengths to put that gap somewhere, but you know there's a hole there. You're just not sure which one it is, you know? And that wasn't always the case in previous games. But here it's like, no, you know for sure if something feels like it's locking you down, it's because the vulnerability is in a different place from where you think it might be. It's amazing, amazing design on that like small, in-depth level that is making this game feel so good. And like I love getting into that minutia because like it's fucking, you can recognize it, you know, you can see it here right away. And if you want to,
it's very cool using the mental stack against someone, like when you realize they're not using theirs, you know. And like because I've had like in my games that I've had, like I've noticed that a lot of people forget level 3 supers, like because they're just too busy thinking about like jumping in and drive impact and like drive rushing, like them drive rushing at me, you know, like that kind of thing. Like I had a match with a DJ where like we just went back and forth, like rematching each other. And for like the first 2 games, I kept doing my bullshit where I would like jump in, smack, command grab. And eventually he got used to that. So on like the 3rd game, like I would try it and then he would punish it or whatever. Like he just block or whatever and then punish or like sweep me as soon as my feet touch the ground.
Right.
So like what I did was like I got him at like a point where he was in the corner, like on the left side of the screen, and I was a little far away, just a little far away. But I kept doing this thing, and it tricked him every single time, where I would just jump straight up, like neutral jump, and then I would see him back up, and then as soon as I touched the ground, I would do her low dégagé, which is like she just slides across the ground.
The slide, yeah.
And it would get him every time. And then I would do another bullshit that you guys were talking about, where it's like an infinite kind of like, not infinite, but like a loop where you can kind of like just drop him over and over again. And it was like, wow, I can't believe I just like destroyed this man's mind by just jumping straight up.
What you did is called conditioning.
I conditioned him.
You conditioned him to do something every time you did something, and then you pull the fucking rug out, you know? It's the best.
Literally.
Yep. Oh, fuck. I had a thought that just escaped me. Oh, yes. You guys both play grapplers. So, here is a fucking powerful thing to think about as you go on your way through ranked and you're fighting people and you fight opponents that are really good, right? The strongest grapplers in terms of like competitive play and stuff and whatnot, they're not a threat because the grab does so much damage. They're a threat because everyone is afraid of the grab, and the implication makes people act in predictable ways, right? Really important to think to consider the difference. If I always get grabbed and it sucks, I don't know anything about Zangief. I'm just going to eat it. If I know that Zangief is always trying to grab me, I'm always going to be holding up. If I know Manon is constantly trying to grab me, I'm always holding up. And if someone is always holding up, you can start fucking them up in really predictable ways because that fear makes them more predictable. The strength of a grappler...
Yeah.
The strength of a grappler is forcing the person to play more predictably by being afraid of that situation.
So, for example, for Geef, I know for a fact that I can force people to jump eventually. And once that's happening, he has his air SPD 1 inch off the ground. And now they're in the same situation otherwise. And I know for Manon, if you know they're going to jump, you can do the EX kick. I forget the name of it. But that combos directly into the hit version of her metal gain.
Yeah, you could do that. You can do the ground, her 2-hit anti-air that pulls them back to the ground as well.
Totally.
And so this is what the situation is. And for Marissa, it's similar. But I'm still trying to figure it out. We were labbing it on in mid-match, actually, is like I would hit Reggie with a Scutum, and then next I would go, because you can, there's a window of time after you land the Scutum where you can continue to do Scutum action, which is like either the double swing, the sweep, or the grab. And so if he's holding up at that point, he's trying to avoid the big damaging grab, and I'm like, great, what's the next layer of this when I know he's about to jump, you know? Yeah, that's a huge thing that you're gonna need to figure out, because you watch, again, like the Snake Eyes, one of the best fucking Geefs ever.
I should mention I'm watching a Snake Eyes match right now as we're talking about
Snake Eyes is always threatening without the grab. He fucking
uses very few.
He fucks everyone up because they're so afraid of it, but he gets insanely good at not using it. And that is his signature thing. And like he wins so much because everyone is like, but he can grab me. He's going to do it eventually. And he's like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll fuck you up with my buttons. I'll fuck you up with everything else. I'll know so much more about this character and all the things they can do without that grab, that when I want to, I'm going to take it. But you're just, that fear is a debuff that never goes away against him, you know? That shows you the strength of it, man.
Yeah, you can really condition people, like, as a grappler with, like, normals, and then they just do some really dumb shit. Like,
stupid shit.
Yeah, I'm going to, like, walk right up to you. And it's like, why are you walking right up to me? Like, I'm just going to grab you now. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
It you know, there was a really simple thought early on in Street Fighter 4 when I was just like, man, I always liked Blanka. I was pretty good with him back in Super Turbo and stuff. But when you're fighting an army of Kens and Ryus, I'm just like, you know what? You know what? Fuck your Hadoken. I'm sliding under it. What else do you got? You know? And by the end of round 1, sometimes the answer was, actually, I don't know. I didn't think this through. I don't have anything else. I might just do a Hadoken again, you know? But it's a nice little thing that is like, okay, we have to change this up a little bit. And then, you know, you get a little bit further, you fight better people, and better players are now doing fake Hadokens that are like, actually, I'm just going to like press a button and crouch low, and if you slid to nothing, now you die, you know? So like there's these little like moments of like, oh, the conditioning, all right, it's been set, what is your response? And then your response now gets me killed, so I have to, as a responsible Blanka player, not slide as much anymore, which then lets you start doing more fucking Hadokens. You know? And we play the goddamn game of Yomi Layer 1, 2, and 3. It's such a fucking... Oh, it's the best. All right. We're
Street
going.
Fighter 6 is good. I don't know if you guys know that. Like, it's really good.
I feel confident in saying that Street Fighter 6 has proved that fighting games are okay.
Not a net negative.
Not anymore. Now that Street Fighter 6 fixed all that shit, congrats. It took a long time. And it like, I feel like Street Fighter 6 really exposes a lot of the way that I was thinking about it. Like, why did I love fighting games? I loved fighting games because I was in a point in my life in which easy access to tons of matches was available, either by going to see my friends or going to a communal space where I could just do a shit ton of matches. The instant that stopped being a reality and the internet had to pick up that slack, well, the internet fucking couldn't, because everything played like dog shit online. And now it can. So fucking yay.
It also didn't help that, like, for years, the people that made these games just refused to make the internet good.
Yeah, that was pretty annoying.
And the fans fixed it, and then they officially were like, no.
But no, though.
Yep. No, I cannot wait for the day when we don't have to talk about it anymore. I can't wait till it's just not even a subject.